Welcome to Passport for Wellness. Today's excursion will start in 1 minute. Enjoy the sights and sounds of today's Passport for Wellness destination. Welcome to Passport for Wellness. Today's excursion starts now.
Well, hello there. Looks like you're ready to do some traveling today. I'm your conductor, Hank, and I am just thrilled that you'll be traveling with us today. Before we get started, make sure you have enough space around you so you can move freely without bumping into another traveler. That also means having your own chair to sit in when needed, as well as the person's chair in front of you to use for balance when standing. Make sure you have enough space to walk in place and to stretch your arms out wide and move from side to side. If you plan on sitting throughout our excursion, make sure you have enough space to move your legs and to stretch out your arms and can move from side to side. Just follow along with what you see on the screen at a comfortable pace. If you're sitting, make sure you follow along with what you see in this special box. Be sure to slow down or stop at any point if you feel lightheaded or dizzy. Only participate if you feel confident and comfortable moving your body throughout our travels. So, where are we headed today? Oh, so we're off to the Iberian Peninsula, home to some of the world's great early explorers, parked in the northwestern corner of the Mediterranean and forming the southern coastline of the Bay of Biscay. It's the Kingdom of Spain. I can remember traveling around the Spanish countryside myself many years ago. Of course, I was much younger back then. Thanks for joining me today. My name is Henry, and I'm so excited to be here with you in Spain. This is the city of Barcelona along the Mediterranean coast. On its famous central street, Las Ramblas, the street that the world wishes would never end. Let's get going. The southwest corner of Europe that spans Spain, Portugal, France, Andorra, and Gibraltar is called the Iberian Peninsula. Spain established itself as a unified country in the 1500s, just in time to start exploring the world and establishing colonies all over it. Say, what's that music? Sounds like flamenco. Let's work our hands and strum along to the rhythm. That's it. The flamenco guitar is also called toque and uses a different style of strumming than the classic guitar. Okay, switch hands and try to keep up with the rhythm of the music. Sometimes a toqueros or a flamenco player will use their hands to slap the guitar for a percussive effect. Yeah, big finish. Woo! Nice finger dexterity. Flamenco is also a dance from the southern regions of Spain. Put your hands up in the air, close your fingers on your thumbs like you have castanets in your hands. Now stomp your feet to the music. Woo! Really stomp those feet. That's it. Boy, you flamenco dance really well. Okay, let's end with a big finish. Woo! Excellent. Okay, let's slow it down a bit and walk. I love the dance, whether I'm good at it or not. What about you? What is the type of dance you remember learning? Dancing is a great way to have fun with others as well as to get your body moving and stay fit. Hey, we've got to check out La Sagrada Familia, Barcelona's majestic basilica. The basilica is huge. Let's act like we are inline skating to get from one side to the other. Step out with one leg, then the other. Keep your arms pumping. That's it. Construction on the basilica was started in 1882 and was the vision of the famous Catalonian architect Antoni Gaudí. Believe it or not, the basilica is still not finished. Over 100 years later, construction continues and they are racing to complete it by 2026, in time for the centennial of Gaudí's death. Okay, let's stop and stand up on our toes and stretch our arms up as high as we can. The basilica has 8 spires reaching high into the sky. Let's do one for each spire. Gaudí's plans call for a total of 18 spires. Eventually, there will be a spire for each one of the 12 apostles, the Virgin Mary, the 4 evangelists, and the tallest one for Jesus Christ. The tallest spire will be over 550 feet tall. Woo! Well done. Inside the spires are tight spiral staircases made of stone. Let's act like we are climbing them. Keep those knees up. The stones are pretty tall compared to normal steps and tight, making it tough for two-way traffic. The basilica is a World Heritage Site. Looking at the incredible details, carvings, and elaborate facades, you can see why. The view of the city from atop the spires is pretty impressive, just like the basilica itself. Nice going, everyone. Okay, let's ease it back down a bit. The basilica is one of the most ornate buildings in the world. What's the most ornate building you've ever been to? Was it a palace or a cathedral like the basilica in Barcelona? Whenever I see a really ornate building, I wonder, who has to dust and clean it? And then I'm relieved that it's not me. What's so interesting about the basilica is the infusion of classical, Gothic, Art Nouveau, and Islamic architecture. It's like a great melting pot of cultural influences and styles, with its geometric details, high vaulted ceilings, ornate chapels and naves, and intricate facades. The basilica is a great example of how Spain straddles several cultures and has made them into its own. Speaking of straddling, Spain, along with France, are only 2 of 3 countries that have both Atlantic and Mediterranean coastlines. Do you know what the 3rd country is? Is it the United Kingdom, Morocco, or is it Italy? The other country with both an Atlantic and Mediterranean coastline is Morocco. This is Pamplona, the historic capital city of Navarre in Spain. Okay, let's walk and pick up the pace a little. Pamplona is also the city famous around the world for the running of the bulls. Quick, let's run for our lives! I'm just kidding, but pick up the pace. People run through the streets ahead of bulls being driven to the bull ring, and it can get pretty dangerous. Okay, we could slow it back down. The tradition started about 700 years ago and still continues to this day. And pick up the pace again. The running of the bulls in Pamplona is part of the San Fermin Festival in early June. Now stop and scamper up over that wall to get out of the way. Excellent. That was close. Okay, back to our pace. The only 4 rules of running with the bulls are you have to be 18 or older, have to run in the same direction, no taunting or inciting the bulls, and not be under the influence of alcohol. Okay, one last time. Scamper up over the wall. I don't know about you, but I need a pretty strong dose of liquid courage to run in front of a 1,500-pound angry bull. Whew, we made it. While bullfighting is actually banned in parts of Spain, it still continues. The bullfighter or matador uses a cape held out, then takes a step to the side at the last moment. And the crowd yells, "Olé!" Let's try it. Here comes the bull, and step aside. And here comes the bull, and step aside. Now the other way. The bull charges and step aside. Charges and step aside. Olé! Great stretching. Let's keep moving. It's not a good idea to risk your life or do something dangerous like running with the bulls. Although, it can be exhilarating to do something daring now and then. What was something you did that was daring? Was it a spontaneous idea? Or something that you had always wanted to do? One of the reasons we usually feel so alive afterward is because it got our blood really pumping, like a good workout. Wow, you are doing great on our travels through Spain today. We started on Las Ramblas in Barcelona, climbed to the top of the Basilica there, and just survived the bulls of Pamplona. It's a great time to siesta and save some energy for the second half of our travels today. Grab a drink of water if you need to, or plan to have one after we've finished. Either way, we'll be back to continue our journey together soon. Oh, and see if you know the answers to these fun facts about Spain. We are exploring Spain. We've done the flamenco, visited Gaudi's incredible basilica in Barcelona, and ran with the bulls in Pamplona. Time to explore Madrid and soak in some authentic Spanish culture. Let's get moving. We've got a lot to see. Cervantes' novel about Don Quixote, the man from La Mancha, is considered one of the most influential works of literature from the Spanish Golden Age. Here, stomp like a giant by taking really big steps. In the book, Don Quixote imagines doing battle with giants. Really plant your feet when you stomp. The giants are actually figments of his imagination. And while he doesn't realize this, his faithful squire, Sancho Panza, does. Good job, you're doing great. Okay, now swing your arms around like the windmills which Don Quixote thinks are really giants. Don Quixote encounters many characters and situations along his travels. Kind of like we do, except his tale is one of distorted perception. Let's switch directions. That creates lots of situations that makes Don Quixote both lovably fallible and painfully oblivious. Now, crouch down with your arms out. Don Quixote yearns for the chivalrous days of old and is blind to the reality of present time. That's why he charges at the windmills who he thinks are giants, when it's actually Cervantes who's the true giant. Okay, time to charge at another swinging giant off in the distance. His book is considered the first modern novel, and it is a rich story open to multiple interpretations, letting the reader delve deeper into the story. Great job, everyone. Okay, let's walk a little. Cervantes' story about Don Quixote is a literary classic. There are many great books out there. What was one of the first classics that you can remember reading? What made it memorable to you? Great works of literature are often ones that say as much in between the lines as they do in them. Let's move from literary classics to some modern marvels. This is the Bilbao, the architectural design destination of Spain. Check out this building. Its many facets make it the building that's always changing. Sometimes it looks slanted, like this. Now the other side. Bilbao was founded in the 14th century, right on the Bay of Biscay. Sometimes it's pointy, like this. It's undergoing a major revitalization, and sometimes round, like this. That includes incredible architectural statements. You're doing great. All right, now lean as far to one side as this pedestrian bridge in Bilbao. Lean as far as you can. This is the Zubizarreta, or White Bridge, in Basque. Okay, let's look at it from the other side. It crosses the Nervion River. Not only is the bridge suspended by curving cables, the actual bridge is curved as well. Good stretch. To many, it's the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao that really takes your breath away with its flowing architecture, making this a good time for some flowing poses. The famed architect Frank Gehry was challenged to design something daring and innovative, and boy, did he ever. It's always changing depending on where you're viewing the building from. Nice flowing, everyone. Okay, let's keep moving because we have more to see. Say, what's the first time you can remember seeing a really interesting building? Was it modern architecture or was it something more classical in design? Where was it? Sometimes a really iconic building or structure can become the symbol for a city or region, like the Empire State Building in New York City. Bilbao is part of a proud autonomous region of Spain and a recognized cultural community. Do you know which one? Is it Catalonia, Basque, or is it Valencia? The answer? Bilbao is part of the Basque Country in northern Spain and the largest city in the Basque cultural community. We are now in one of Spain's most beautiful destinations, the incredible palace and fortress known as Alhambra. Let's pick up the pace a little and look around. Alhambra was an old fortress that was renovated into a massive palace by a Moorish emir. It fell into disrepair and was restored to become one of Spain's most popular tourist destinations, showcasing incredibly detailed Islamic designs, art, and architecture. Hey, I've got an idea. Stop walking. One of Alhambra's many distinctive courts and halls is the Courtyard of Lions and the fountain in its center. Squat down like the lions at the base of the fountain. The lions represent the 12 tribes of Israel, with 2 of them having triangles on their forehead as the chosen tribes of Judah and Levi. Keep squatting and stay strong like those lions. Great job, everyone. Stand up and shake those legs out. Okay, now let's leap from foot to foot like the fountains that shoot from side to side. Alhambra has been described as a pearl set in emeralds with its white walls standing out amid thick forest that surround it. The open design of Alhambra lets sun and wind enter the palace freely so that breezes and shadows can wind their way through it throughout the day. Okay, great fountain leaping. You guys are really light on your feet. Okay, let's get back to walking. Alhambra has been built up and extended throughout the centuries by the various rulers that called it home. Each new addition remained faithful to the original design theme of Alhambra, being paradise on earth. And as you can see, it really is a sight to behold. Boy, traveling across Spain has made me peckish. Good thing tapas is a pillar of Spanish cuisine, serving small tastes of seafood, olives, cheese, and meats is a great way to snack or even enjoy a meal, as long as moderation and healthy options are a priority, along with taste and variety. It's been great fun exploring Spain with you. Thank you so much for coming along. Maybe we could do it again sometime. Maybe sometime soon. I certainly hope so. Until then, adios everyone. I can remember that trip like it was yesterday. Or maybe it was even today. When I'm traveling, I like to stretch the muscles that I've used once our journey is done. If you're standing, have a seat. Let's first lace our fingers together and push your arms out forward in front of you. Oh, boy, that feels good. Next, let's lift our left knee up and pull it towards you. Excellent. Now let's do the same with our right knee. There you go. Okay, time now for a few deep breaths. Breathe in as far as you can, raise your arms up above your head. And breathe out as you move your arms to your side. Good job. Breathe in. Breathe out. I could just imagine what it must have been like dancing to flamenco music. Breathe in. Breathe out. Admiring Gaudi's Basilica in Barcelona. The running of the bulls in Pamplona. Riding with Cervantes' Don Quixote. Interpreting the modern architecture of Bilbao. Breathe in. Breathe out. And touring the courts of Alhambra. Mucho excelente. Taking a fanciful journey like that today reminds me of all kinds of things. What did you remember from today's journey? It's always good to remember things like that. Until next time, make it a memorable day.